Best way to hold a viewer's attention is to show them something appealing from the first few seconds. And the best way to do that from your YouTube channel is by a great channel header. You want your channel header to be engaging to the viewer, be professional, and stand out from the crowd. The nice thing about the tools available these days is that you don't have to pay any money or hire anyone to make you a professional looking channel header. You also don't have to be a pro level photographer to find images for your header. I'll show you some free resources on the web that you can use to find high quality HD, totally free to use images. So if that appeals to you, let's hop in. So before we get started, I'd like to show you a couple examples of some really nice YouTube headers that I personally like and that caught my eye, so I can give you a couple examples of different things different people are doing. So first off, these photographers I follow, Mango Street. They first of all show their channel name, they also show a picture of themselves, and then you also have some examples of what they do, so photography and filmmaking tutorials that don't waste your time. So right away, looking at this header, you already know what to expect from these guys. A YouTube header is a great opportunity to give an example of who you are and also what people can expect from your videos. Moving along to Marquez Brownlee, MKBHD, super simple. It's just a red background with a couple icons, his channel name and what he does, quality tech videos. So a YouTube channel header doesn't have to be anything too crazy or extreme. It can be simple enough that just represents who you are. The next one is Peter McKinnon. So you can see a picture of him in his moody style. Gives off a vibe that you're gonna see in his videos based on how he colors his videos, but also has kind of like a handwritten style of his name, handwritten font. Again, super simple, just a photo and some text, but it gets the point across. And finally, the slow-mo guys. So as you can see from their header, they make slow-mo videos, and you can tell that by kind of the drawing they made here with the things moving in the air really slow, and they communicated that well. Really cool, like poppy design, as well as text of who they are, but that's all it says. It's simple, it's recognizable, and it pops with a lot of color. So you want something that's eye-catching, that gives off some personality based on who you are or what your content's gonna bring to the table, and something distinct. So there's some examples of some different people's channel headers to give you some ideas of what we're gonna be able to create. But let's now hop into the next section, which is finding images for your headers. Since YouTube allows the YouTube header to be scaled all the way to the size of a television, the bigger image you can find, the better. This will give you more moving room and editing room when we start to do that. Also, higher contrast, colorful images really pop, and these draw people's eyes directly to your header. But now I'll show you two free to use websites that have tons and tons of professional looking photos that you can use for your headers today. The first website I want to show you is pexels.com. This is a free stock photo website that's sourced by photographers around the world. People upload their images to be used by you and download it as many times as you want. For the first example, I think we're gonna make a header for a travel YouTube channel. So when I think about travel, I usually think about mountains. And another thing to keep in mind, you notice how this image is taller than it is wide? That's called portrait. We want landscape, which is the opposite aspect ratio, longer than it is tall. So that's gonna make it easier for it to fit on a traditional screen. I really like this one here with this guy in the middle of this mountain. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this download icon, but I think I'm also gonna find one for food. So for example, a cooking channel. I really like this one here. It looks like it's kind of made to be a channel header. I like this one too. It has a lot of negative space. When you're thinking about finding photos for your YouTube headers, a lot of negative space is gonna give you some room to work with text. So keep that in mind. The second site that you can use that's just like Pexels but has some more options, that's gonna be stocksnap.io. And again, if I were to just type in mountain, let's just see what they have available. This is another good stock photography website as well. That should hopefully help you find images. Now let's go ahead and start editing them. Now that we found our images, I'd like to show you canva.com. It's one of my favorite design websites for branding and for marketing. Let's hop in. The nice thing about Canva is if you sign up for a free account, you'll be able to save your designs and come back later. Super useful. At their search bar, if you type in YouTube channel art, you'll come to this page, which is their templates page. There's different types. You've just got photos with text, things with different assets such as rectangles, shapes. This one allows you to have multiple photos in the background. This one has a square around it. So the first one I wanted to make was something related to travel. So let's see if I can find something that might look good with that guy who is inside the cave that we found. And just to show you around Canva just a little bit with the layout here. So at the top, you're gonna see home. That's how you get back where we came from. file. Resize is nice if you're going to be using the same banner across all social media. So if you wanted to transfer this to like a Twitter header, you can do that. On the right side, you can try Canva Pro, share, download is what we'll be using. At the very top left again, templates. This is how you can switch between templates right from in the editor. Uploads is where you're going to be able to upload your own images. Photos is how you can find photos within Canva. So instead of downloading it from the sites we mentioned, you can find them right within here. Elements is how you can add shapes and little icons and logos and shapes. Text, if you don't like the text they already have, you can add different text in here. Videos is good if you're making like ads, that's not going to be useful here. Background, if you'd like to make just a quick background without an image, but more so colors and things like that, textures, you can find them in here. And there's a couple other things you won't need. So first off, let's just say that this travel channel is going to be called Easy Trips 101. So I'm going to type in Easy Trips 101, travel tips for the average person. And right away, I don't really like the font it has for that. So I'm going to go ahead and click up here to the font, and I'm going to click on something else that I might like. There are some with the crown. Those are not free to use, so just keep that in mind. But you do have access to all the other ones. I kind of like that one there. And it's looking pretty good. I could already just download this myself, but I do have my own image, so I'm going to go ahead and click these images in the back and hit delete grid. So this would be a way for you to add multiple images. They already have a grid pre-made. I just want to use one image, so I'm going to delete the whole grid. So I'm going to go over here to uploads. And I already uploaded the image, so I'm just going to click on it. And now I'm going to drag it to the top and just resize it for myself. Perfect. Now if you go up here to the top right and hit position, you can hit backward, and that will put it all the way in the back. Now I notice it's hiding this guy's face, so I'm going to move it a little bit. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to click on this black bar they have, and I think I'm going to go up here to this checker box, and I'm going to lower the opacity or the transparency just so that it does show him behind it. So this would be good to go. However, I want to show you something that'll help you size things properly. So let's just go ahead and download it here at the top right. When you do download something, you'll want to use the JPEG format because it will be smaller, and YouTube does have a file size limit. So let's just hit JPEG and download it here. So now if we go back to YouTube and we open our channel, if you go up here to the top right and hit Customize Channel, this will be where you can add all of your channel branding, and we'll go to Branding at the top. Now if we go to Banner Image and hit Upload, this will allow us to upload our image. So let's upload the image. Now here's what YouTube does for you. It does show you how your image will show up based on how it's being viewed. So if you're looking at it from a smartphone, for example, or a tablet, this is what you'll see, the smallest square. If you're viewing it on desktop, this is how big it will usually get. So it's going to stretch all the way across. And then if you're viewing it on a TV, your image could show up that huge. But the most important thing to remember is this smallest rectangle is what you want to optimize for. So anything you want to show up in your channel banner on any device needs to be in that little rectangle. So as you can see, everything that is there in that rectangle. I'll hit done. And then on the top right, let's hit publish. And it should give us a little pop-up on the bottom, says go to channel. Let's go ahead and do that. And there it is, Easy Trips 101. I will say, if we go back to Canva, let's say for example that you had this arranged improperly. So maybe the text was too big to fit in the banner, or something was moved down here and you didn't know, and then when you tried to upload it, you're like, why can't I see what I need to see? I did include a resource in the description that you can upload to Canva as an image, and it's the resource small image. So the resource large image is basically that template that shows you the entire thing, and then resource small will help you directly in Canva. So if you open that as an image and then you drag it over here and resize it properly, and then try and drag it to the very middle of your image here. And then if we make sure it's in the middle, we can drop the opacity to see where everything is. So you can see this is outside of my box. So that way I can use this element and drag all that right to the middle, and now it's within my box and I can delete that. So that resource is going to be helpful for you when you're using templates through Canva in order to make sure things are sized properly. That's going to take all of the guesswork out of it. without you having to be a graphic designer. So here are the images we were able to make ourselves using these free websites and free resources. If you're interested in seeing any other YouTube branding help or how to grow a YouTube channel, I have a couple other classes on Skillshare that you can check out below as well. But that's enough from me. Hope to see what you create. Thanks for watching.